So, are the flamethrower and the laser cannon pretty good now after the buff?
Get some!
Well, let's have a look at both of these weapons. Now, first off, I actually want to go over the flamethrower. Now, considering the buff for this weapon, compared to the previous version of the flamethrower, it's actually pretty damn good. Now, they've increased quite a lot of things about this weapon, so I'll put it up on screen right now. So the flamethrower has an increased damage per second by 50%. So we've gotten a 50% increase in damage, and you can definitely tell the difference now. So it's a pretty good weapon for overall gameplay. I mean, I was in a impossible level 8 difficulty, and it is pretty good holding up to some of these enemies, especially in a large horde. Now, in the background, you can see a bunch of different kinds of gameplay that I managed to get for you guys. In a horde, it's a pretty good weapon to use, especially when you're going to be burning a bunch of enemies that are going to be crowded together. You could easily take out a horde in no problem. Now, against the chargers, this is where it can kind of come into a little bit of a challenge. Now, these guys do have pretty tough armor. The only thing that was quite viable against them was the railgun or just straighten up nuking them. The flamethrower, I've had a few different tests with it. You can pretty much kill one if you're fully targeted on it in maybe a full tank of a flamethrower, maybe a little bit more. That's how I managed to kill some of these. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, it's not the best. I would like an increase in damage against armor, but it's a pretty good step forward for the flamethrower in terms of charges. Now, obviously, the Bile Titans aren't gonna take a bunch of damage from these weapons, so we'll leave that for the nukes and other viable, you know, heavy artillery weapons for these guys. But overall, flamethrower, pretty good. I do highly recommend using it now, especially after the buff. In group play, just be a little bit careful because the flames do kill pretty quickly against yourself and your teammates. So, you know, take that into consideration when you're going to be using this weapon. But solo play and group play, yeah, it's a pretty good weapon. Now, moving over to the laser cannon. Where do I start with this weapon? Yeah. It's not good. It's just not good at all. I don't really recommend it for solo play. I don't really recommend it for group play. There's so many other weapons and better choices for this gun. I don't want to get your heads up about this weapon, but I did manage to kill a Titan after nuking it once and then kind of spraying the laser on it, maybe like a full round of it, and I did manage to kill one. Maybe I got lucky, maybe I hurt it in a different kind of way. I don't really remember, but I did manage to kill one. Groups of hordes of enemies, probably other choices. I would highly recommend the flamethrower, if anything. A single target against the medium-sized enemies, just not good. Really, just not the best. The only thing I can actually kind of say about this weapon is it does take out the charger legs pretty well. That's the only good thing about this weapon. Really, if you do just aim that thing at the leg and just keep that laser right there on the target of the leg, you can destroy it pretty quickly in a couple of seconds, even though that's quite a long time. With the railgun, it's normally like a single shot, maybe 2 shots and it's down. But this is still pretty good for the charger legs. I'm not going to say it's amazing. I do want a bigger buff to this weapon, if anything. But yeah, against the chargers, it's pretty decent. Against hordes, I don't recommend it at all. I do recommend the flamethrower over that. Single target damage, it still needs a bit more work. I mean, it's not exactly completely useless, but compared to other weapons, I would recommend other weapons. Now, what other weapons do I recommend? Obviously, the rail cannon still, the flamethrower over this weapon, and just straight up breaker. Honestly, the straight up just breaker weapon, yeah, just anything else that has been recently buffed, I'll probably go for that instead of the laser cannon. But I can see this weapon in the future being a good weapon. I mean, it's unique, it's pretty cool, it's a laser, and hey, I mean, why shouldn't it do more damage than it is already? Now, I don't mean make this weapon completely overpowered and broken, no. Just give it a bigger buff so it's actually more usable in the video game. And that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all very soon on the next one. And we're probably actually going to be making a new meta build to adapt to these new changes happening in the game. We're probably going to be getting another fix soon. We'll see if there's any more changes to more weapons in the game. I really hope the other weapons get nerfed. Get buffed. Oh my god, don't nerf anything else, please. Just buff everything. And yeah, we'll go from there. And I'll see you guys very soon.